Hello, good evening, good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone. Myself Vishnu, founder and director of Eco Foundation. And Eco Foundation is a environmental conservation NGO from India, and it's a youth lead entity. And along with Eco Foundation, different other youth NGOs around the world is organizing this youth summit. Actually, the aim of this youth summit is to bring out the voice of the young people, especially the people aged below 14, on their concerns on environment and all. And today, we have nearly 20 speakers, and tomorrow also we have nearly 20 to 40 speakers. And this event is going to be a first outlook for the youth voice. And I think the speaker number, just number one, is already available in our screen today. And I just would like to welcome him to deliver his speech. And I have a request to all the people that if you could share your thoughts in a written format, then we will make it as a booklet. Okay, at the within 10 to 20 days. That's a humble request to all speakers. Just make a write up of your speech. Okay, and thank you. And I would like to invite the speaker number one. And please take the session, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Jisnu, for your warm welcome. Okay, hi, good night, everyone from Indonesia. Nice to see you, everyone. So, Jisnu, can I ask, am I able to share my screen?
Yes, of course, you can share your slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I beg your pardon, so just going to share my screen. Oops, sorry. Not this one.
Yes, your slides are visible for us. And can you make it more bigger? Your mic is mute.
Ya bukan? Oke, sudah barang-barang di proses. Saya belum selesai. Udah nih, lagi ini. Belum. Can everyone see now my screen? Because I see on my screen is already put it on the white screen.
Yes, it is
Yes,
visible for us.
yes,
Oh,
it is visible.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Sorry, this is a little bit chaotic over here. Right. So, good evening, everyone from here. So, thank you very much for the opportunity. Today, I would like to share about my patients and the research that it has been carried out since the last year. So, my name is Ali Budi Kusuma from Indonesia. So, you can call me Ali for short. So, today, I would like to share about a topic that put my interest is that we call the impact of global warming on the tropical glacier of karst environments in Indonesia. So currently I'm working in the Faculty of Life Sciences and Technology in Sumbawa University of Technology, Indonesia. Right, before I'm going to explain about the glacier, etc. So I would like to take you to the travel to my country, in Indonesia. So Indonesia is an archipelago in Southeast Asia that consisting of 17,000 islands. If you can see on the screen, it's and 6,000 island from that is inhabited, which is traveling from the west to the east, which is contains Sumatra, Java, Borneo until Papua. So
Excuse me, sorry for the interruption. Actually, we can't see your slides when it is changing. We are still on the slide number 1.
well,
Yeah, it is not changing for us. And can you make it as a PowerPoint presentation
yeah,
mode?
I've already changed the full screen, but I think it hasn't moved. Is it?
No, we just we can see your first slide. That's it.
I'm not sure what's going on. Let me just stop share and share it again then.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Because on my screen is already full screen and it moved. Let me just check. Okay.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, it's alright. That's fine. Window and then this one. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't change. One moment. Yeah, oh, maybe. Let me just put this one.
It's from the beginning. Yeah, your cursor were near the from the beginning, right?
Yes, yes.
On that one.
So actually, beside me, there's my student that she also see. Okay, it's already full screen or not in your side?
No, it is not full screen in our side.
I'm not pretty sure how things going because it seems on my on my screen is already on full screen. Let's see if I put it down. Is it moved? Has it moved?
No, it is not moving.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, can you share the slides? Then I will. In meanwhile, I will call for the next speaker. Then
Okay.
I can change the slides for you as well. Is that okay?
So yeah, so you're going to skip me and I will talk after that. Is that what you
Yes,
mean?
if you can share me the slide, then I will
Yes,
share it
yes.
for you. Then meanwhile, someone can speak. Other
Yes.
guy can speak.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yes, please go ahead. I think your number is the next one, which I shown in the chat box. Yes, please.
So,
Excuse me. Actually, we can't hear you. I think there's some issue with your microphone.
hello?
Yes, it is audible for us now. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. So this is Antara Jha from India, and my topic is e-waste issues, challenges, and solutions. Now, e-waste is electronic products that are unwanted, not working, and nearing or at the end of their useful life. Computers, televisions, VCRs, stereos, copiers, and fax machines are everyday electronic products. Now, there are some electronic gadgets which we use in our day to day life, such as microwaves, electric cookers, heaters, fans, cell phones, smartphones, heaters, computer monitors, laptops, circuit boards, hard drives, DVDs, Blu-ray players, stereos, televisions, video game systems, copiers, printers, and etc. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we come to the point that how did we get to this point? In 1976, Congress first addressed the issue of hazardous waste disposal with the passage of the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. This act sets standards for protecting human health and the natural environment from the potential hazards of waste disposal. The next major step was the Basel Convention in March 1989, an international treaty designed to reduce the movement of hazardous waste between nations and present the transfer of hazardous waste from developed to less developed countries. In 1991, the first electronic waste recycling system was implemented in Switzerland with the introduction of a system to collect refrigerators. Other electric and electronic devices got added to the system in later years. A decade later, the European Union implemented a similar system called the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive to establish e-waste recycling requirements for member nations. Pollution of groundwater, acidification of soil, air pollution, e-waste accounts for 40% of the lead and 75% of the heavy metals found in landfills are some of the effects of e-waste on environment. Now we will come to the point that what are the effects of e-waste on the human beings. Printed circuit boards, which constitutes lead and cadmium. This affects our nervous system and kidney. Motherboard, which constitutes beryllium. This affects our lung and skin. Switch and flat screen monitors, which constitutes mercury. This affects our brain and skin. CRT cathode ray tubes, which constitutes lead oxide, barium, and cadmium. This affects our heart, muscles, and liver. According to the WHO, health risks may result from direct contact with toxic materials that leach from e-waste. These include minerals such as lead, cadmium, chromium, brominated flame retardants, or polychlorinated biphenyls. Danger can come from inhalation of the toxic fumes as well as from accumulation of chemicals in soil, water, and food. This puts not just people in danger, but land and sea animals as well. A proper recycling process needs to be put in place to protect us and future generations. Now, there are some solutions for through which we can decrease the problem of e-waste problems. First is donation or sell working electronics. This is the simple way to efficiently manage e-waste is to sell once working electronics. Many of these buyers will use them, resell them, or sell the parts. Otherwise, there are recycling websites and comparison websites that will give a price for old gadgets and allow sending them off to be repurposed or recycled effectively. Most people don't even stop to think if they really need that gadget or not. If one is buying a new device, even though his old one is in good condition, one can simply upgrade the software. One can keep his old phone in his car and can use it as a GPS device or music player. Old phones can be used for other purposes such as that can be converted into universal remote controls or used to monitor security cameras. Major retailers and brands have in store online and drop-off site recycling options. They recycle computers, mobile phones, and TVs. Before purchasing electronics, one can ask the store if they have buyback program. Most of the retailers give that option to customers. Given the number of electronics we supply away in drawers and cupboards, it's no wonder we forget what items we have in our house. Instead of buying new devices, organize one's existing to see if one really needs to replace it. The Environmental Protection Agency offers an Energy Star program that gives rebate when one recycle old appliances and buy new Energy Star models. Energy Star appliances consume less electricity, thereby saving money on the electric bill. Some raw materials are easy to recycle while others are not. The more one educates oneself, the better one will be able to purchase items that will harm the environment in the long run. Now I would like to conclude my point by saying when we refuse to reuse, it's the earth we abuse. So reduce, recover, recycle, and reuse the electronic gadgets. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful thoughts, which you're sharing with us right now. And I would like to call back the chess number one because earlier we had some difficulties with that. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I will share his slide now.
Dia pakai handphone game. Okay. Udah full screen ya. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Full screen. Hi, Jisnu. Thank you very much for sharing my file on behalf of me.
Okay, thank you. No problem.
Can you go back, please, to the first slide?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Thank you very much, Jisnu. Today, hi everyone, I would like to share the topics which is related with the global warming in the glacier of the tropical glacier in Indonesia. My name is Ali Budi Kusuma. I'm currently working in the Faculty of Life Sciences and Technology in Indonesian University. Next, please. Right. So before I am explaining about the glacier, the tropical glacier in Indonesia, I would like to introduce a little bit about my country. So as we know, Indonesia is a country located in the Southeast Asia. It's an archipelago consisting of 17,000 islands, and 16 of those are actually inhabited. And if you can see, the country itself is stretched between Indian Ocean and Pacific Oceans, and between Asian continent and Australian continents. Next. So actually, I would like to emphasizing what is actually Indonesian famous for. And some of you might heard Indonesian about the tropical rainforest, and we have a lot of tropical rainforest. And many of you knows about the Aceh tsunami, which has happened in December 2004, as well as talking about Indonesia. We will should not miss about the Komodo dragons, the last living dinosaurs that actually endemics in one of the Rinca and Komodo Island in the country. Next, please. And also, if you had a chance to visit Indonesia, Bali, also you should not miss Bali to relax and to chill out in the islands. So Bali is regarded as the most visited tourist spot in Indonesia. Next, please. Okay, so talking about the biodiversity in Indonesia, as I already earlier mentioned about the geography of Indonesia. Indonesia actually cover almost 1.3% of Earth, but consisting of 17% of all global species, which is covered from the fish, coral reef, butterflies, invertebrates, vertebrates, birds, etc. Next. And unfortunately, there is little known about Indonesian tropical glacier because if we think about the annual temperatures in Indonesia, which is range between 28 to 34 degrees Celsius, you might not be even thinking for a second that Indonesia have a glacier. So actually, we do have one glacier that what we call Karsten Pyramid in with the height is almost 5,000 meter above the sea levels. It's actually located near the mining gold company, U.S. mine gold company called Freeport McMoRan Company. And if you can see from the pictures, the top of the mountain is actually covered by the glacier or the ice. And please, next. And this summit is actually the top, is the highest mountain in Indonesia. And also, next, please. And okay, so the Karsten Pyramid is also considered as one of the 7 summits in the world, all together with the Mount Everest and Mount Maikisi, etc., etc. Also Kilimanjaro. Next. However, these days we know that it has been reported that the Karsten Pyramid or Puncak Jaya Wijaya in Indonesian language will lose its everlasting snow due to the global climate change by 2025. It is very sad indeed because the next Indonesian generation or even world wouldn't able to see the glacier on the tropic anymore by 2025. Next. Yeah, so actually this is the papers by my colleague Donald De Permana, which is published in 2016. He is researching the changing of the glacier melting within 8 years, and then what he actually observed, the glacier covered at the top of the mountain actually is reduced or shrinking from year by year. Next, please.
So, I changed the slides.
Next, please. I think it's okay. Right. So in these pictures, you can see the pictures A and the picture B on the right side. The pictures taken from the glacier on June 2010. And then you're going down to the picture C, D, and E actually taken in the adjacent year 2015, 2016, and 2018. And you can actually see how the ice is actually reduced a lot. And from the 2010, you can see that almost the top of the mountain were covered by the ice. And in 2018, 8 years later, so you can see that the ice cover are actually gone, missing. Next, please. So, what is actually we currently doing in the laboratory is we use a bacteria to actually induce the ice formation. If you can see here, this is the water, and then if we put the bacteria in, it will froze the water right away. So hopefully, with this bacteria, we were able to help to actually increase the ice formation. So to help the glaciers not to melt too much because of the global warming. Next, please. So how this bacteria is actually will be applied in the real life scenario for freezing to make the ice formation. You can play the 1 minute video here.
If you've ever skied on a mountain covered in artificial snow, you have a microbe to thank. To make snow, ski resorts use a protein.
So what makes this bacteria is so special? Because these species are having a proteins that if it's the protein interact with water, it will induce the ice formation within 3 seconds.
To better understand this freezing power, researchers use
and if you are planning to apply this bacteria to the glacier, and you can spray the bacterial cultures, and then let the bacteria grow to actually helping the recovery of the ice in the glacier.
To create ice, and it also aligns water into alternating stripes. Ice is more likely to form at the line where those stripes meet the protein. Plus, the protein funnels heat away from water as it freezes, helping the process along. Learning more about the bacteria's icy abilities could help researchers make better predictions about climate change.
Yeah. Next please. Thank you.
If you've ever
that I've been working on since 2018. So here is all the colleagues that working in ICEBB is the center that we are actually belongs to in Indonesia, that we are working exploring the microbial diversity in different places in Indonesia, and trying to use this diversity for the prosperity of the humankind in Indonesian society. Next, please. So this is what we've been doing actually. So we are going to the places that having a problem, and then we try to find the microbial strains from that places, that we are trying to put it back to the environment to increase or to improve the quality of life. And for instance, if it's land or water environments, or in the glacier case, so we will be able to recover the glacier for inducing the ice formation. Okay, I think that's all for me. Next, thank you. Thank you very much for everyone, and thank you, Jisnu, for your help to share the screen.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sir, for your talk.
And
it was really wonderful presentation from your side.
And thank you for
joining us from Indonesia.
And
next, I would like to call this is number
4.
4.
And I think Matthew is ready
Matthew
there.
is ready there.
Welcome, Matthew. Matthew, if you have some slides, you can share that. Otherwise, you can speak. No problem.
No problem.
It's up to you. Hello.
Hello.
Actually, your mic is
Your
mute.
mic is
Hello.
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 I think he has
I
some
think he
internet
has some
connectivity
internet
problem over
connectivity
there.
problem over there.
Then I would
Then
like to
I would like to skip.
Yep.
Yep.
Hello. We can
Hello. We
hear
can
you
hear
properly.
you properly.
Hello.
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 Matthew.
Matthew.
Hello.
Hello.
Matthew.
Matthew.
Can you
Can
wait?
you
And I
wait?
will
And I
call
will
the next
call the
speaker
next
there.
speaker there.
And
And
hello. Yes.
hello.
I
Yes.
would like
I
to
would like to
invite the
invite the
next
next
speaker.
speaker.
Speaker just
Speaker
number
just number
5.
five.
Hello. Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Vishnu sir, I'm ready. This is Dr. Baisa.
Can you
Wait.
please wait?
Can
Can
you
you
make sure
make
your
sure your
connectivity is
connectivity is
stable?
stable?
Okay, so
And
this is Matthew.
yes.
Yes.
Ma'am
Ma'am
Savitri, ma'am,
Savitri, ma'am,
please
please
wait. I
wait.
think
I
Hello, can
think
you
Ma'am
hear
ma'am's
me?
Savitri
connectivity
just
came back.
came back.
Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
Matthew,
Matthew,
please.
please.
No, okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me now? Can I speak? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes,
I'm
please.
on. Can you
Yes,
hear me?
please.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Matthew Mensah from Ghana, West Africa. And yeah, so I'm on now. I am speaking on those. And yeah, so I want indulgence to have the next 10 minutes to speak on the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, my name is Matthew Mensah, and I'm a youth and community development advocate, advocating for the achievement of the United Nations. The fact that in September 2015, all heads of states across the globe met in Paris, France, and they sat down to develop or to come up with goals that can be achieved to help the various 7 continents worldwide. So that was the emanation, or that was the origination of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which was inculcated or which was imbued or which was brought forth in September 2015. And I will take you through the goals sharply, and I'll talk about it. Because I have a limited time. We have 17 goals in all. But the objective of the goals is to make sure that in terms of economic sustainability,
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
I think
I think
he
he
have some
has some
network
network
issues,
issues,
and
and
he is
he
left
is
from the
left from the
meeting
meeting
because of
because
that
of
one.
that one.
And
And
sorry for
sorry
that.
for that.
I will
I will
chat with
chat
him
with
once
him once
again, and
again, and
hopefully he will
hopefully he
come
will
back.
come back.
And
And
right
right
now,
now,
I
I would like to invite this is number 4 to continue the session.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Savitri, ma'am.
Savitri, ma'am.
Good evening, Jishnu sir. Actually, my chess number is 6. Shall I start now?
What about
What about
yeah, 6,
yeah,
ma'am?
six,
Okay,
ma'am?
6 is
Okay,
fine.
6 is fine.
I think
I think
5 is
5
Ravi,
is Ravi,
and
If
and
please inquire that if he is not able to connect, I will start my presentation.
okay then, no
okay then,
problem,
no
ma'am.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can
Yeah,
start
you can
yours.
start yours.
I'm sharing my PPT. 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, no problem.
Screenshot. Screenshot. Is my PPT is visible? Is my PPT is visible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No, but you may say so now. Hello. Can I continue?
Thank you for giving me opportunity to present my presentation on biodiversity, need of preserving a valuable resource. So before
Can I continue?
Now Savitri madam is presenting. So
shall I continue, sir?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Hello.
As we are all know, Earth provides enough to safety, satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed. So it was a famous quotation given by M.K. Gandhi. So we are all nature as well as for the biodiversity. Now we are going to see what is biodiversity and what is the importance of biodiversity, and in what way we are causing disturbances to the nature and biodiversity. So these are the main contents now. Threats to biodiversity and conservation of biodiversity, causes and preventive methods, and finally conclusion. So it is one of the statement given by Thomas Jefferson. So in the nature, if one link in nature chain might be lost, another might be lost until the whole of the things will vanish by piecemeal. That means if so, all the links which we are having in the nature has equal. The term biodiversity by Walter and G. Rosen in the year 1986. According to him, the biosphere comprising of a complex collections and innumerable organisms known as the biodiversity. And this biodiversity was abbreviated as biodiversity. That means the sum total of various living organisms and plants that were present on the earth. So the term biodiversity means bios mean life, whereas diversity means diversification of life on the earth. That means variety. Coming to the biodiversity definition, the variability among living organisms for all sources, including terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems, including all ecological three types are there. One is genetic biodiversity, species biodiversity, and ecosystem biodiversity. So when we see at the level of genes within the same species consisting of variation. So that seems to be as genetic biodiversity. Whereas single species consisting of so many varieties, that is called as species biodiversity. And we are also having the ecosystem biodiversity also. So this is the examples for genetic biodiversity. Here we are seeing mangoes. Mangoes for so is my slide is not moving?
Yes, it's not moving, ma'am.
Not moving, ma'am.
yes,
It's
sir.
not moving. It's
You're
not
not able
It's
moving,
not
ma'am.
moving, ma'am.
1 second, sir. I'll rectify the issue. 1 second. So now is it is okay, sir?
Uh,
I'm in the slide of genetic biodiversity.
No, actually
We
we
are not
got
able to see your slides,
no.
ma'am. Just present the slides.
One section. Again, I'll start. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes, right
Yes.
now we can see your
Yes. Right now
slides.
we can see your slides.
Can you
Yeah.
please change
Can you
one
The
please
first
change
one is
one
the
and we will
general
make
and
sure
we will make sure.
and
slide.
This mango from Ghana, brand new mango. I mean, doctor, with your
So
slide.
it will be okay. Now I can move like this. Okay. If you don't have any
yes,
Yeah,
okay,
yes,
inconvenience.
yes, it's
yes,
fine
it's
now.
fine now.
Yeah, I mean,
So firstly, we are
I
seeing
like
the
it
genetic
now.
biodiversity. So in single species of mango, we consisting of nearly 5,000 varieties of recorded mango, and similarly varieties sativa, it consisting of 88,000 recorded gene varieties. And similarly, species diversity. Here we can see these both the Felis. This is the species name, and within one ecosystem we are having different types of. Within one region we are having different types of ecosystems like grassland, shola forest, aquatic ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem, like that. That is called as ecosystem diversity. And what is the importance of biodiversity? So, biodiversity provides food, fooders, fruit, fuel, timber, medicine, etc. And it consisting of so much of values like commercial value, biological values, recreational values, and aesthetic values, and also it consisting of scientific values also. And along with this, it is also consisting of direct values as well as indirect values also. So the direct values consisting of consumptive use values and social. All these are come under these two values, and productive use values, and these two are coming under indirect values, ethical values, aesthetic values, optional values, and ecosystem values. And coming to the global biodiversity, currently, as according to my knowledge, it consisting of 1.9 million species are known, and these are insects and bacteria, fungi, and etc. And biodiversity at national level. So when India is considered to be area accounting for 70 to 8% of the species of the world, and 10th among the plant-rich countries, 11th in number of endemic species of higher vertebrates, and 6th position in terms of centers of diversity. And India mega biodiversity indices. And what are the different types of threats to the biodiversity? These are the anthropogenic causes which we are causing disturbances to the biodiversity, and these are the natural disturbances to the biodiversity. So loss of habitat, poaching, man-animal conflict, introduction of exotic species, that means introduction of new species, and pollution. And the pollution is also various types of pollutions are there, and the indirect effect of global warming and climate change. These are the anthropogenic causes, that means human causing reasons, and these are the natural causes: narrow geographical area, low population, low breeding rate, and natural disasters. And loss of habitat because of greater industrialization and urbanization. The habitat destruction is more increasing nowadays, and poaching is also one of the important reason for the depletion of biodiversity. And man animal conflict, when we are in childhood, animals are living in their forest, but human beings are living in their territories. But because of this urbanization and deforestation, animals are coming to the human territory, because there is a conflict between the human and animal, that is called as man animal conflict. Because of this man animal conflict, human beings are get benefited, but most of the animals have they died. And pollution. So these are the different types of pollutions which we are affecting indirectly through the or aquatic systems as well as terrestrial systems. And introduction of exotic species is also one of the important cause for the massive depletion of biodiversity. And the global warming and climate change is also affecting. And these are the IUCN categories of animals. So here I mentioned only three only. These are the critically threatened biodiversity: extinct, endangered species, and threatened species. And in India also, most of the mammals extended over 186 genera, 45 families, and 13 orders, out of which around 89 species are listed as threatened species. It is categorized by IUCN in the book of Red List of Threatened Animals.
7,
7,
8,
8,
9.
9, 10.
Yeah, this we had to need the conserve the biodiversity. These are the different types of biodiversity conservation methods, in situ and ex situ conservation methods. Issues on biodiversity. So recently, some issues are arised about the depletion of biodiversity. Among that, 75% of the genetic diversity of crop plants being lost in the past century. Scientists estimate that the many of 3 species per hour is going to be extinct. So now it is the correct time to take action on biodiversity loss. So this is the biodiversity in India, that is mammals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians, and freshwater fishes. And preservation measures. These are the some preservation methods which we are have to follow to preserve to save the biodiversity. And these 5 essential elements must be present in our curriculum as well as in our regular activity. So the need for food and water is obvious because we have to take the food and water for the nature. That's why we have to conserve the nature. And balancing act, we have to balance the natural resources when we are developing the industrialization, urbanization. We have to alternatively we have to arrange the some other place for the forest and biodiversity animals also. So these are the conservation methods, and these are the conservation areas which we are having in India. And the public education is also one of the important phenomena. So now in our degree classes, degree college sections, we are UG session, we are awareing the students about the importance of animals and plants. So here I am giving some. So this is the house sparrow. We are all know that the scientific name is Passer domesticus. So the Passer domesticus is also going to be extinct because of radiation. The number is also decreasing. So that's why we are as the lecturers we are taking some we are conducting some awareness programs to the students. That's why the information is ultimately reached to the society. So here in our college we are conducting the importance of Matti Vinayaka and importance of animal, as well as importance of birds and importance of birds and animals. We are explaining to the school students. We explain to the school students so that they may be aware of the importance of animals. And we are also encouraging the students to plant more trees, and we are creating awareness among the wildlife. And wildlife camps are also organizing here. It is one of the large wall which we are identified in our campus, and we are hand over to the forest department to conserve this. And we are also having in our own, we are having the sparrow nest, and we are taking the responsibility of the sparrows, and this is rabbit bird and everything. So we are also conducting the wildlife awareness camps in school. So from my conclusion, so biodiversity is our life. So if the biodiversity got lost at this rate, then the near future and the survival of human beings will be threatened. So it is our natural duty to conserve biodiversity as well as our environment. Thank you, one and all. The United Nations decade UN declared at 2011 and 20 is as biodiversity year decade. Thank you, one and all, for giving me this opportunity to present my presentation on biodiversity and importance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful presentation. Thank you. And I think right now Matthew's network is stable. And Matthew, you can speak now.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so good afternoon once again. My name is Indonesia from Ghana, West Africa. I am speaking on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals originated from the Millennium Development Goals, which was set up way back in the year 2000. Now, the SDG, which is really the short form of Sustainable Development Goals, was initiated in 2015 in Paris, France. And the main objective is to make sure that the first world countries have been blended with the third world countries, whereby economic stability, education, and then also employment can be sustained among member nations. We realized that the notion was a lot of countries were making it, or a lot of countries were like France, Spain, China, Japan, all those countries were far advanced as compared to a lot of countries who were really less endowed. So there was a need to bring ability, financial inclusion among member nations can be achieved. That is the idea where the Sustainable Development Goals was initiated. And like I said, it was initiated in 2015 in Paris, France, and it's a 15-year long-term plan, which want to be achieved by 2030. That by 2030, this 17 goals should be achieved by member nations under the United Nations. And I will take you through the goals sharply. Goal one is no poverty. No poverty by now to 2030. As I speak to you, we are 7 years way down the line. We have already achieved 7 years since 2015. We are 2022, so we have 8 more years to achieve these goals among member nations under the 196 countries of the United Nations. No poverty. We want to make sure that all the 196 countries nation its citizens. So that is when goods and services has to be traded among member nations without no restrictions. Job creation among member nations without no restrictions, whereby education can be acquired among member nations through its citizens without no restrictions. And zero hunger. We believe that when goods and services and businesses occur or businesses are being provided, member nations will get jobs to do whereby they can earn something for their life or hunger to be reduced. Because when there is money in people's pocket, there is food which can be set on the table. So member nations or citizens among member nations cannot go hungry. And we have to achieve good health. That's goal 3, good health care. We have to achieve good health care as compared to other member nations at all. When you look at countries like China, India, US in Africa, so there is a need for us to bridge the gap. So good health care, where we will seek health care among member nations without no restrictions. And quality education, we can never do anything without education. Not just education, but quality education, whereby citizens under any United Nations country can travel to seek education from other countries with no restrictions, where other people too can also travel to Africa to seek education in the African diaspora with no restrictions, where education, the discovering of our ignorances can be acquired through member nations easily. That's goal 4. When we look at goal 5, the gender equality, when you look at certain countries, females are being prohibited to take certain positions. According to their customs and norms, mostly females are being deprived of taking certain positions. On a level, their talent, their skills, and their abilities, they are still not given the chance to take certain roles that men do play. So there was a need to blend the gender gap. So goal 5 talks about gender equality, where men and women will be treated equally and fairly in the field of work, in our religious bodies, and in every aspect of our life. Goal 6 talks about clean water and sanitation, the environment in which we live in. We need to take good care of it, because if our businesses will thrive, if our healthcare will thrive, then we need to take care of the environment, where the water that we drink will be clean. We want to, by 2030, the 196 countries of the United Nations will have good access to water. Purified water should be accessible to all member nations, whereby sicknesses, waterborne diseases will be reduced or it will be eradicated totally by 2030. Now, clean and affordable energy in terms of our electricity and gas stuff, we have to make good use of it. It should be clean. When you go to other countries, it will marvel you that as it stands now, people still use the firewood in getting fire. And you can attest to the fact that the smokes that have been emanated into the atmosphere challenges the atmosphere, and it also affects our healthcare too as well. So we are aiming to get clean and affordable energy by 2030. And goal 8 talks about decent work and economic growth. We want to make sure that each member state by 2030 will have decent work for its members or its citizens. For instance, Ghana here, we are spearheading the chance of making sure that youth get a sustainable work to do. whereby after school you not be a burden to your community or to your family, but after getting through the educational ladder, the knowledge and the skill that you acquire from school, you can put it to work. Educational ladder, the knowledge and the skill that you acquire from school, you can put it to work and get a good job to sustain yourself, your family, and your community as well. That is goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Goal 9 talks about industry, innovation, and infrastructure. That is where the engineering comes in, the mathematics, the STEM comes in. We need to make sure that we are promoting the engineering aspect of our lives. We now attest to the fact that we are 21st century of technological advance. Hence, there is a need for us to indulge ourselves, most especially our younger generation, to acquire the engineering mindset, the innovation mindset, whereby we will stop doing the old things, but we will try to come up with creative and innovative ideas to do the old things in new ways, whereby we can fit into the fast-changing needs of life. Gone are the days we didn't even have mobile phones in Ghana here. Now, through mobile phones, I can sit down comfortable in my room and communicate to my brother or my sister in the United States, whereby I can just connect directly through online. I can speak to my friend in India or my friend in Germany. This is as a result of what? Creativity and innovation through what? Engineering. So goal 9 is talking about we setting up industries to employ the mass majority of people who are coming out from school, innovation, whereby we will try to bring up creative and innovative ideas and mindset to curtail the challenges that we are facing, or to even prepare ourselves to solve or to reduce emerging challenges that are yet to come. And infrastructure, whereby we have good roles and social amenities to build up ourselves right from the grassroots, starting from the communities. And the 10 talks about reduce inequalities. Yes, we want to reduce the inequalities starting from our various localities, whereby even in the family, certain people are not allowed to spearhead certain projects. It's in line with the gender equality. For instance, when you go to certain ethnic group, females are not allowed to even come closer to certain, talk to adults.